aboyandhisdogs here with Hexcells Plus. Moving on to puzzle 5-3. This is another large puzzle. We're going to start with our 0 first. It's always the easiest. Just take care of the very basic moves. So we know that blue will be shared between either of these two for the bracketed. For this 2, we know that there has to be separation, so those 2 will be blue. That will be the one eliminated. Okay, we have our 2 bracketed for the blue. Alright, so for the 3, we know for the dash 3, there's always going to be the blue on either side selected. We still can't solve for these. We know that one of these will be blue at that point. We just don't know which one. All right. So for this column, we have bracketed 4. We know they have to all be connected. So it'll be these 4. Alright, for dash 2, we know there has to be separation. We can eliminate that one. Alright, so for this we have 1, 2, and we know that one of these 2 will have to be blue for this one, which will give it the 3 it needs, so we can eliminate this top one. Alright, so for here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We can eliminate the rest. We can deselect that 4. Alright, so for this column we only have 1 left. We can highlight that bottom one and deselect or unhighlight that one. Alright, for this 2, that has to be blue. For that 3, that has to be blue. Alright, so for this column, we know that bottom one's blue. To finish off that, we have our 2 selected here, so we can eliminate these 2. Let's take a look at the 6. We have 1, 2. Okay, we can't solve for that one quite yet. Okay, for this bracketed 3, we know that the one that will work for both is going to be this top one. Either way, there will be an overlap there. Okay. So looking at this 9, for this column right here, we know one of these 2, only one of these 2 will be blue because there has to be a separation. And on this column, we know that only potentially one of these 2 would only be blue. So let's count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what we can do is we can highlight everything except for what's in this column and this column because we know that they'll be blue. And we still have to determine if either of those will be blue and which one of these 2 will be blue. Alright, so for this bracketed 3, we now know we can eliminate this bottom one because we know that they have to be connected and it won't reach all the way down there. Okay. Let's take a look at this 8. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can't quite solve for that one yet. Alright, so for this column of 5, the last 3 can't all be at the bottom, because then these 2's would end up equaling 3. So we know this top one has to be blue. And for these to both be 2, we have to choose the top and the bottom. Alright, so let's take a look over here. We have 1, 2, 3. Okay, can't solve for that quite yet. Alright, so for this column, we know that 2 of these will have to be blue. And for this column, we know, let's see, this one's blue up at the top. We know that 2 of these will have to be blue. So how are we going to get that? Just gonna kind of take a peek around here real quick. Alright, hopping over here for a second. This one, okay, well, we'll look at this one in combination with the -3. We know that only one of these will be eliminated for the -3. So that means one of the 2 will have to be blue. So for this one, knowing that one of these will be blue, we can eliminate these 2. And we can also derive that these 2 would be blue based on that. Then we can get some basic moves done here. Okay, we've got our 3 now. Alright, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we can't quite solve for the 5 yet. Okay, so looking up top, we do have this row, and we already have 2 selected here. So we can eliminate the rest in that row. Let's do some of the easy moves off of that. One, 2, 3. Okay, so that row is solved. We can deselect that one. Okay, for this 3, we know that all of those are going to be blue. Go ahead and deselect that 2. Let's look at this column. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All these will be blue for this column. Let's see if we can work off of that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, can't quite do that one yet. Right. Okay, so looking at this 5, we have 1, 2, 3. And for this 3, we know that only one of these will be selected. So that would be 4. The only one remaining that would be 5 would be the top. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we can't do that one quite yet. Let's take a look at this. We have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, we can't quite do that one. Let's take a look at this 5. We have, that's one we just did. Okay. So can we figure out which one of these is going to be blue? I guess it's going to have to be one of these two for that 2. So we could eliminate this one. So we narrowed it down a little bit. Let's see here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Still can't quite solve for that. Alright, so we can look at this row. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can eliminate that one. For that 2, we know it's going to be blue. Let's go ahead and deselect that 6 up there. Alright, can we solve for this now? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We know one of these remaining is going to be 6. So we still can't quite solve for that. Alright, I was missing an easy one down here. This 2 has 2 next to it. We can eliminate that one. So for this 2, we know that has to be blue. We have 2 there. We now have 1 in this column, so we can eliminate these 2. For this bracketed 3, we know that one has to be selected. Okay. So let's look at this 6. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can eliminate this one. Deselect the 6. Let's take a look here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. The rest of these are blue. We have our 2 for that one. 1, 2. Let's see here. We have 1, 2, 3. So these 2 are gone. For that 3, we have 1, 2, 3. We have our 2 there. 1, 2. For this one, we have our 1. Alright, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So one of these 2 is going to be blue. Not quite sure which yet. Let's look here. We have 1, 2, 3. We know one of those 2 will be blue. Okay, so we have 2 selected. There's only 1 more left out of these. And we know it has to be one of these 2 for that 3. We can eliminate this top one. For this column, we only have 1, so this last one's blue. For this column, 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one's blue as well. Alright, let's take a look at the middle 5 now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So one of these 2 is going to be blue. But we're not sure which one of those 2 yet. Okay, so looking at this middle column, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So one of these 2 will be blue. And we know it has to be one of these 2 to meet this 2. So we can eliminate this bottom one. So let's take a look. Well, actually, it's pretty easy now. We have 1, 2. We have our 2 there. We can deselect that 5, that's done. So let's see, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We know one of these two has to be blue. Of course, we already know that from that 3 as well. Let's take a look across here. Can't quite solve for the 6. Let's look at this 8 now. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's not solving for that one quite yet. Okay, so for this 5, we can actually eliminate one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We know one of these two is going to be blue, which would be 5, so we can eliminate this one. Does that help us solve for the 6? Not quite. Okay, so only one around this is going to be blue. And we know that for this 3, one of these two has to be the blue one. So we can eliminate those 3. One, 2, 3. Alright, for that 2, we know that has to be blue. We have our 3 now. Let's take a look at this row up here. We have 1, 2, 3. We now have our 6 in this column. We'll deselect that. We have our 3 in this row. 1, 2, 3. So we can eliminate this one. Solving this 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's take a look at the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4 for this 4. Okay, for this column we now have our 3. We can eliminate the last 2. Okay, we know that's going to be blue. There's only one left in this column. We know it has to be that for that 2. And we have our 2 selected there. We can eliminate that last one. Let's deselect our 3. We can deselect all of those actually. Alright, let's hop back over here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we should be able to make those blue. Let's do a recount just in case. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll deselect the 8. Alright, so for this -2, we know we have to eliminate this one. There has to be a space. So for this -2, we know we have to eliminate this one and make that blue. Only one more left in this column, which is blue. We have our 3 for that, so we can eliminate those 2. Let's go back over here real quick. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we can't quite solve for that yet. Alright. So for this, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, we can't really quite solve for that yet. Alright, so heading over to our 7, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can make the last 2 blue. And now we have our 3 here. Alright, so we can deselect our 7 now. Alright, let's take a look at the 8 again. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2 of these are going to be blue. And we already have 2 selected. It can't be these 2 because then this would equal 4. So we know this one at least has to be blue. Alright, let's see. Over here to the 5, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can eliminate that bottom one. We'll deselect our 5. 1, 2, 3. Alright, we're getting pretty close here. Alright, so for this 4, we are going to have 2 more left in this column. They both can't be... Only one's going to be able to fit here because we already have 2 selected there. So we know one of these that's going to be blue will be the bottom. So we're gradually narrowing that area down. Let's take a look at our 11 row. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have our 11. We can eliminate this last one here. We'll deselect our 11. So we know now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have our 3 for that column, or for that 3. So we can eliminate this one. Now for this column we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll deselect that. Alright, so we know one of these is going to be selected for the 4, which would solve the 3, so we can eliminate this top one. So for that, we have 1, 2, 3. Getting a perfect in that puzzle. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment. And if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Hope to see you next time.